I mean, think about it. It came to my attention because I noticed they were arresting people for fixing their car.
Hey everybody, it's Keith with L1 Automotive Training Channel, and my absolute every single thing I've got's going off. I've got messages, emails, everything coming in, and I've seen a ton of stories about this and people weighing in. So I'm going to do a short little video, and it's what everyone's missed, and unfortunately I haven't seen one person that's stated any of this correctly. And I think this is kind of how it happens in the media and all that stuff. So I'm not going to try to be political in any way, shape, or form or anything. I'm just going to talk about the facts and what's happened. So take a look at this. This is President Trump, so let me go ahead and just give you this 8-second, 10-second clip for you to watch, and this is what all of the problems have stemmed from.
Everyone else.
I mean, think about it. It came to my attention because I noticed they were arresting people for fixing their car. They were arresting people for fixing. That's not even believable. Anyway, so it's right to fix, and I think it's really common sense. If somebody wants to fix, some of these people are better mechanics.
So that's what you're seeing, and that people are being arrested for fixing their car. And from what I can find, there has not been a single case ever of anyone actually fixing their car. Now, I want to be very clear. What all this stems from is diesel deletes. So President Trump pardoned a gentleman who was deleting diesel emission systems off of vehicles, and the argument can be made there that that was fixing the car. So if you want to make that argument, that's fine. But here's why that doesn't matter, because I need you to look at what he signed. And so let's just look at what he signed and see if that kind of combines into what was said and what was meant. And I want to kind of break that down. So right now we have President Trump saying that people are being arrested for fixing their cars. I'm telling you, I can't find a single instance of that actually happening in a specific way. There are lots of people deleting diesel emissions components off of their vehicles, which as of right now is still a federal crime. You heard from the administration that they're not prosecuting for that. That doesn't mean that it's not a crime still. That means that it's still a crime. They're just not prosecuting people for it. So let's look at this executive order and see if it would have saved that gentleman that he pardoned. Now, the reason why this is important is when Jim Farley and Mary Barr and all the people from GM and Penske and Ford and all them were at the White House, and they had that conversation behind closed doors, and President Trump came out and said they don't want people to fix their car. I believe that probably happened, or something of that conversation happened about, because I know Jim Farley's been outspoken about, I think his name's Jim Farley, dude from Ford. I'm sure, I know he's been outspoken about he doesn't think people are capable of fixing their vehicles because they're so advanced. And I agree with that. Here at our shop, we get hundreds of vehicles every year that are attempted to be repaired by individuals and other shops that are undertooled and undertrained to fix them. So I think it's just, there's a lot of places, even dealers. Go watch some of my videos. I've got videos of Ford dealers that didn't fix cars correctly, that lied to my face about my own vehicle, and I have all the receipts and proof to show you they didn't do it. It happens everywhere. It's not just, I think dealers are equally as ill-equipped and ill-trained in the same percentages as aftermarket independent shops and DIYers. So whole different story, whole different whatever. During that conversation, there was this guy got arrested for 7 years for fixing his own car. It wasn't 7 years, it was 1 year. And it was for not fixing his own car. It was for deleting the emissions off of hundreds of other vehicles, which is a federal crime. I don't care if you don't believe in it. I don't like any of the emission stuff. I wish none of the trucks had DEF and SCR. EGR is a good thing. EGR works well. It's a physics conversation we'll have later. But it's not about whether I think it's right or wrong or politics or any of that. It's the point is it was a crime, and he did the crime, and so he got arrested. Now he got pardoned, which was great because there's not a guy serving prison time for taking emissions parts off of cars. Again, whole conversation, have it all yourself. Keep that in mind. That's what Trump, I think, has either misconflated. I think it's due to policy advisors probably advising him incorrectly that was fixing cars. I believe that Trump has misconflated fixing cars and deleting emissions components off vehicles. Now, you might think they're the same thing, but again, I want you to look at this. So let's look at the actual executive order. So if we pull it up and look, this is the actual executive order directly from whitehouse.gov. It's called Lowering the Cost of Living by Promoting the Freedom to Fix Act, and it's short, so just bear with me for a second. The first section here talks about the purpose of the executive order. It talks about how CARB is difficult to get a certification for. A lot of aftermarket components, when you make one that affects the emissions, you have to get a CARB certification proving that it doesn't increase the greenhouse gases, emissions, NOx, or any of those other things that matter to the EPA and CARB. And so this talks about that. And so let's look at what it actually says to do. So Section 2 is expanding emissions repair options. So it says the administration of the EPA shall provide guidance within 30 days of the date of this memorandum on the freedom to fix by clarifying what actions individuals may take on their own vehicles to conduct emissions repairs or have emissions repairs conducted consistent with the California Air Research Board. Such guidance shall be limited to the matters specified in this memorandum. Okay, so the first thing it does is the EPA has to provide guidance of what you're allowed to do, or what's the other thing it says? Guidance on their own vehicles to conduct emission repairs or emission repairs conducted consistent with the California, or have them conducted. So what can an individual ask another shop to do or do themselves? That's the first thing that it requires, is the EPA give us guidance in the next 30 days. They post a piece of paper that says you can do these things. Again, that's the EPA based on federal laws. The next thing, providing assurances. So to increase the clarity for aftermarket equipment manufacturers, prevent cheap foreign knockoffs, and reduce reliance on CARB's faulty and backlog certification process, the administration of the EPA shall encourage the submission of expeditiously consider and act on any request from organizations capable of testing aftermarket parts for conformance with CAA. So this is because CARB is the only thing that certifies components to affect emissions. This is pushing the EPA to encourage quick laning those components. So the government is already terrible at everything they do. If you think the government is the most efficient thing, then you probably already stopped listening because you don't have enough brain cells to know anything. I apologize for, offending a bunch of people, but if you think the government's efficient, just go to the DMV. Now, it also says to act on any request from organizations capable of testing aftermarket parts for conformance with CAA. So if anyone can convince the EPA that they can also test stuff as well as CARB, then they should act on any of those requests. So deny them or approve them. Again, so far, these two provisions do literally nothing but provide you documentation of what you're allowed to do by law, which would be great to have like a list, I guess. Where appropriate, the administration EPA shall provide assurances while protecting manufacturers' intellectual property, which means this is not going to open up any right to repair avenues. It's not going to supply any build data, blueprints, schematics, diagrams, description of operations that don't already exist. So those things are all already available to you of what is available. Confidential business information that proposed certification process for aftermarket emissions parts to meet the requirements of CAA and relevant EPA regulations. Again, doesn't change any regulations, doesn't open anything up, just clarification of it. And the first part of that about allowing the EPA to fast track stuff completely can just be ignored because the EPA can say, we acted on the request, we denied it. And then prevent cheap knockoffs. I don't know what their proposed purpose of that is. Now, the two last parts are the most important part. So individual freedom to fix. The administration of the EPA shall consider, not actually do it, but they must consider this, deprioritizing civil tampering enforcement actions against anyone who, in good faith, attempts to fix his or her own vehicle, and here's the biggest part of it all, to its original configuration, which means no, you are not allowed to delete your diesel because that changes the configuration. This executive order would have done absolutely nothing to help the guy that was put in prison for deleting diesels because he did not restore it to its original configuration. So what was said about people are being arrested for fixing their own car, not true. Can't find a single case. If you got one, put the actual case and state in the United States, not Canada, not other. Here in America, we have Freedom Acts. We don't have tyranny acts and tyranny rules. So not very many of them anyways. Whole different discussion. Anyways, if you got an example of someone being arrested for fixing their car, that this particular executive order right here would have saved them, post it below. I'll make a reaction video / apology for being wrong. But the example that he's using is not correct. It was not fixed to its original configuration. This executive order does zero, zip, zilch, nada, nothing for that individual. Now, the next part, nothing in this memorandum, this is even bigger, nothing in this memorandum shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof. So none of this says that the EPA or CARB is allowed to ignore a law. They just have to consider these things. The functions of the Director of Office Management and Budget relating to the budgetary, administrative, or legislative proposals, which means none of this gives extra funding or takes away funding from anyone to do their job. So all the EPA's got to say is we don't have time to do this. It's not in the budget constraints. This memorandum shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. So nothing allows them to add extra laws, remove laws, change federal funding, or anything to do with this memorandum at all. This memorandum is not intended and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law, or in equity by any part against the United States, its departments, agencies, entities, officers, employees, agents, or any other person. DJT. So this doesn't give anyone any extra powers. It gives no one anything additional to what they have now. No benefits, nothing. And we also can't go and sue the government for anything involving this memorandum. That's what that's about. It's similar to the memorandum for a lot of the vaccine stuff. And because I just said that word, this entire video is going to be disappeared. You'll never see it again. Anyways, this is a whole lot of nothing. It means nothing. It changes nothing. Doesn't do anything. It means we're going to spend millions of dollars of taxpayer money to have two government agencies write letters of what you can and can't do already, and then doesn't change anything. It would not have saved a single person, if there is any people out there that have been arrested for fixing their car. Let's agree to disagree, and I will take your side and say diesel deleting is fixing. I think that's modifying a vehicle to no longer have components that can fail. I'll agree with that. That's modifying. I don't think that's fixing, because according to fixing terminology that's used in this memorandum, that is putting a vehicle back to its original configuration, which means with all emissions components intact and untampered. There is nothing in this executive order that would have fixed any of those issues, that would have prevented any of those people from going to jail or prison or being prosecuted. It does ask the EPA to deprioritize the people that have been arrested for fixing. So if you've got an example of someone who didn't diesel delete something, that put it back to the original configuration and then got arrested, which again, there's no case that I can find anywhere. I've done hours and hours and hours of searching. Nothing. If you got one, it might have asked the EPA to not look at them first, to deprioritize it. So they go from top of the list to bottom of the list. They're still on the list. So I'm sorry if you're hearing a bunch of other stuff. Everything else about this has nothing to do with right to repair, has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't fix a dang thing. It was a big waste of time. So I don't know why everyone's taking off with this. I wish more people would just read and understand. Rant over. Thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. If you hate me, give a thumbs down. It's okay. All engagement is good engagement on every platform. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.